Hey there friends, one last video for you on these Objective 3 notes to help you finish them off in your note pack. This is our Unit 2, so we're talking about lines, and it happens to be we're talking about piecewise functions when we're talking about this Objective 3. What I'm looking at is page 12, and it's the problem at the very bottom of it where you see that guy with a little t-shirt and he's got a happy face on him, so you may want to look for that little thing, something like this. I can't remember, is he on the phone? I don't know, he might be on the phone. It gives you all of this information. 20 bucks per t-shirt when you order up to 20 shirts. $15 per shirt when you order between 21 and 40 shirts. 10 bucks per shirt when you order between 41 and 80 shirts. And as soon as you order over 80 shirts, it's 5 bucks per shirt. Now this is normally how they actually price out t-shirts. It's normally a little bit less of a drastic difference in cost. But when you start ordering more and more of them, the price gets cheaper and cheaper per t-shirt. And they do that in an effort to get you to buy more, but also because once the thing is set up, it's really, really easy for them to just keep on printing the same thing. So let's see what this would look like as a graph. I think about what I have as my stipulations, what's going to be like my limitations on this graph, and I can never order a negative t-shirt. That's an important thing to think about. Everything that we have, it's going to be a positive t-shirt number. It's going to be a positive price number. They're never going to give me money to order a t-shirt, and I'm never going to order negative t-shirts. That'd be kind of strange. That'd mean I'm giving them t-shirts. So our price that we pay, price per shirt, depends on how many t-shirts we order. So number of shirts goes down here. So we get to decide how many shirts we're ordering, but they get to set the price per shirt. Let's see. Our first set that we have happens at 20 bucks, and that's when we order up to 20 shirts. If I have a set of separate rules like this, it looks like I'm going to have a step function or maybe a piecewise function, but since everything here is pretty consistent, the price per shirt, that means it's looking like I'm going to have a nice horizontal line from 0 to 20 shirts at 20 bucks. So let's see, let's set up our grids that we need. I know I'm going to need to get up to about 80 shirts, so I'm going to make my bottom scale go up to 100. So if I do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 shirts. Let's get some labels in on this. And then my highest price I'm paying per shirt is 20 bucks. The lowest is 5. So it looks like I could go in $5 increments. 5, 10, 15, 20. So there's a nice grid setup going for us. We have from 0 to 100 t-shirts, and our prices go from 0 to 20 bucks per shirt. Now it's important to know that this is a per shirt price. If we were doing our total order price, our graph would look very different. All right. So from 0 to 20 shirts, I have one step going on. So there's my first dividing line. If you like that idea of thinking about dividing lines, our first one happens at 20. Up to and including 20 shirts is at $20 is our price. So I'm going to go ahead and make a step function going on here at $20 from 0 to 20 shirts. Now let's think about our endpoints and what they're going to look like. When I actually order 20 shirts, the price is still 20 buckos. So it's a solid point going on here, because when x equals 20, I am paying this price. On this side of the step, I'm going to think about this. Let's see, this is telling me I order 0 shirts. Well, if I don't order any shirts, my price is going to be 0. So this is going to be an open, because I'm certainly not going to pay 20 bucks for not ordering a single shirt. I don't want that to happen, so I need to think critically, I need to think reasonably. When I plug in a 0 shirt order, I don't want to pay anything. So I need to make sure that's an open circle. So I'm not paying 20 bucks to not order anything. As soon as I get above 20 shirts, my price drops down to 15. So my next step is going to happen here at $15. And I'm going to start that step and see it goes all the way until I order 40 shirts. So that step is going to go here to our next dividing line at 40. I have a step here at $15. Now again, I'm going to think about those endpoints, but I'm really going to just look at the pattern I've established here. I have an open circle on the left, a closed circle on the right. I'm going to find that this step is the same way, because if I order 20 shirts, I'm paying 20 bucks, not 15. So even though it looks like this is a real point, it's actually an open circle, because I'm not actually going to pay 15 bucks when I order 20 shirts. I am, however, when I order 40 shirts, I'm still going to pay 15 bucks. So this is a solid point on this side. Halfway there, I have 2 of my 4 rolls graphed. My next dividing line happens at 80 shirts. Here's my next division point. When I order between 41 and 80, looks like I have a nice step. Every shirt's going to cost 10 bucks each. So I have another step at $10 from 40 to 80. Again, I've got an open circle on the left, a closed circle on my right. And even if I order 60 shirts, I'm still paying 10 bucks each. As soon as I get to that 80, over 80 shirts, my next step drops down to 5 bucks per shirt. So I'm thinking everything from here on out, they're not going to give me another price break point, because then it's going to be free shirts. And they don't want to give anything away for free. Everything above this, everything above 80 shirts, not including 80 shirts, because 80 shirts I'm still paying 10 bucks. So I've got an open circle here. Everything as soon as I go above 80 shirts is at that $5 each. So that's what our graph should look like. Now I have a question down here, and then we're going to do a brief extension on this. This one says if I order 40 shirts and then I have to pay 10 bucks shipping, how much is my total price going to be? So I need to go up above and think of which one of these price points am I looking at. If I order exactly 40 shirts, I'm here in the second step. And it looks like I'm paying 15 bucks per shirt when I order 40 shirts. So if I'm ordering 40 shirts, each one is $15. I'm going to do multiplication, 40 times 15, because each one, remember each is multiplication. So each of my 40 shirts costs 15 bucks. Plus I need $10 of shipping. You're probably already reaching for your calculator. That's what I'm doing down here, out of sight of my camera. And I find that I'm getting a total of $610. 40 shirts, $610. They cost me 15 bucks each plus a little bit of shipping. So if I sold these things for 18 bucks, I could make a profit. If I sold them for 20 bucks, I could make a profit. It's a nice little fundraiser. So I'm going to add a little extension to this, and I'm going to do it in a red color to try to show you the difference here. Okay. Let's say that we weren't doing a price per shirt, we were doing a total price. Total cost. Instead of price per shirt, what I'm essentially seeing up here is a change in the slope of the line. So if I'm paying 20 bucks per shirt, I can think of this instead as 20, remember that per or for each means multiply. So I can do 20 times my number of shirts, 15 times my number of shirts, 10 times my number of shirts, and 5 times my number of shirts. So if I'm looking at total cost instead of this price per shirt, what I'm looking at is a change in the slope of the line. And now what we have something, I'm going to just kind of do this in theory. Up to 20 shirts, we're paying 20 bucks per shirt. 0 shirts, $0. 1 shirt, 20 bucks, 40, 60, 80. So this very first line up to 20 is going to be pretty steep, like that. As soon as I get to this next section up to 40, that line is going to be a little bit less. All right. All of a sudden, I'm not going to be paying quite so much per shirt. In fact, instead of paying 20, my slope being a rise of 20 for every 1 shirt I order, I now have a rise of 15 for every 1 shirt I order. It's going to be slightly less. You see how this one's a steeper slope and then it levels off a little bit? My very next point is going to be even a lower slope. It's going to be even more kind of sideways. So we have something that had a nice straight slope, or a very high slope here, 20. Here our slope was 15. Here our slope is rising just 10 for each 1 shirt that we order. And then last but not least, everything afterwards, it's going to be a pretty low slope. It's never going to start going downward, but it's going to be just a rise of 5 for every 1 shirt we order. Just kind of another way to think about this as a total cost. We'd need it per shirt, so we'd have some multiplication going on here. And we can see now that what that does is changes the slope of our line. Way to go, kiddos. Ask questions if you have any, and we'll see you in class tomorrow.